So what happens if the government does not
had a problem for education.
more effective?
Yeah, jobs.
I was on the young for 1 month, and then he goes away, and then he works so yeah, I think we
So, basic topic is sociality. What solutions to applying government? We should say how the law
it just kind of something like dream. You have to make a business plan, but then you
make them believe that will happen if they,
just enough money for
Maintains the status quo. There are following options. If the crisis continues and the government does nothing about it, the problems will go deeper and deeper. The young people will be unconfident and more people will be unemployed. And that will lead to collapse of current social system. These problems leads to emigration, and the countries are losing their potential and their chances to improve the situation. The nation is formed of people, and if they leave the country, it will lose its face, Also, it's very difficult for young people to create families because they don't have enough money, so they staying alone, and that leads to depression and suicide. The number of suicide gets bigger since the economic collapse, really. The people will socialize less, therefore the communication skills will worsen and the people will lose their emotions. Also, it might be easier for people to work without contract or to transfer to the shadow economy. If the government does nothing, the people must just adapt to the environment and be proactive. But it's not for all the people. Most of them just go and make protests and asking government to change the situation, and it can lead to a house and a lot of riots.
They work at smaller salaries, and this basically means that where the owners of the companies are, let's say in country A, they get the profits, and the profits are higher because the salaries are smaller in country B. And so we could get the production, if you get the production back into country A, of course, this is the click. How would we get the owners of companies to say okay to this and lower their profits but this would be decreasing unemployment by a stagnant rate, I think. So okay, this is a good idea, but it's still we need to figure out how to do it, how to give the incentive to the owners. One idea is also to produce better connections between schools and companies, which would mean that the transfer from schooling system into the working place would be easier. So it would be just like not really finishing school and then being unemployed for a year or something and then being employed, but just to make the process a lot easier. Another idea was to encourage the governments, for the governments to encourage the media, let's say local or national, whatever, to promote companies, to advertise companies with youth workers, because every company needs advertisement, and if you advertise the companies for, let's say, for free, somehow those companies would tend to hire young workers. And there are, oh, okay, I know I'm pretty long, probably. I don't realize it. Let me hear. There are two ideas, two very important ideas, which came up also. And these are, one is to make a national campaign, which would promote the employment of young people, and so that the companies would be encouraged, and that this would show that these companies are like, they make a promise to the future, they will hire young people. And in this campaign, it would be, there was someone from Poland. You said that there are already, not, let's say, research, but it is shown that companies which employ young workers, their profits go up. Good companies. So this would be something that would have to be implemented in this campaign. And one which I think is the best idea that we've got was an idea to create for EU. This is for EU. They should implement this, I think, really, to make like a working platform online. Promote the outsourcing in companies. So that would be, so you don't have to hire someone. They don't have to be on your bankroll, but just make a platform like before when we saw there are all different EU countries, and you can post problems and solutions on it. This could be like a working platform where companies would post their, let's say, problems and the things that they're dealing with, their issues, and they could. Then people, let's say young people, could just check online what are some of the things that companies have, the problems that they're facing, and then they could make agreements for, let's say, part-time with these companies, which would mean that they wouldn't have to be hired, and usually on part-time it's like a lot higher taxes, but still this would give them an opportunity to prove themselves to the company and also to make money, basically.
And reference for sure.
And reference, yeah, in reference to other companies.
Positive side, when the government starts campaign about self-employment and entrepreneurship, and what we made up is like, people will make associations, young people have new and fresh ideas and updating information, so they will easily bring innovation and progress in their country's economic situation. Statistically, these self-employment incomes are higher than normal employees' ones, and crime rate and suicide will drop because less people will be unemployed. More students will get a job, more people will be well informed, and they will be able to use this information in practice. Young people will be more encouraged and motivated to self-employment. If there are more self-employed people, the government can collect more taxes. And the last but not the least, and the solution you can use everywhere is that 12 packs of Italian wine will make all problems go away.
How to improve the practical side of the studies. Well, most of the groups that came to discuss had very similar ideas, so the discussion went a bit off its main theme, but the suggestions were pretty good, and the most common was that there should be more interaction between the universities and the possible employers, that the students should have the possibility to work while they're studying at the area of their studies. That students, for example, if their study program is consists from 4 years of studies, that they should study for a few years. Then, for example, work for 1 year and finish their studies then when they already have some experience. Another topic was mentioned that there are student associations, and as the Romanians mentioned, their student association has already started working with some large companies to give the possibility for students to work as a trainees for those companies, and thus gain valuable skills. So I think this idea should be promoted for all student associations, and well, that they could start working towards that. Another topic was mentioned, that the quality of the studies, that most studies aren't really interesting, and that the students lose interest while studying the subject. So that there should be more qualification development courses for professors, lecturers, and just to refresh the information they have, and just to gain some new methods of teaching. Well, the other topics, as I said, went a bit off theme and weren't about the practical side, but were more about the studies in general. For example, that the studies should involve more group work and more like assignments that they could do more instead of the theoretical knowledge that they just listen to the professor or lecturer talking, and that there could be conferences held between students and possible employers, that the students could get some information about the job possibilities or job requirements, and that another way to keep students' interests should be invite more guest lecturers, because, well, those lectures are almost every time interesting. And that's almost it.